Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and in today's video we'll be going over my Ftmo verification and how I managed to pass that. And let me tell you this, it was not easy. I actually nearly lost the account in the verification phase, but I'll show you how I managed to recover that as well. Before we get into that, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss another video. So recently a few people have asked me what are the pros and cons of having an Ftmo account, and I want to get into that first. So the biggest pro of having an Ftmo account is the fact that you are able to trade a large capital. So if you don't have enough funds to fund your own capital, you can have the chance to trade a much larger capital. Most people would probably not have the chance to trade a 100k capital, and Ftmo will give you that chance. However, the biggest con of having an Ftmo account is the strict rules that come with it. So the first rule that we have is the max loss that you can have. So you can't actually lose more than 10% of wherever the capital is, or even after you pass the challenge, you can't actually lose over 10k in total. This means that your risk needs to be point on, and you need to be very strict with your risk management. The second biggest con of having an Ftmo account is the daily loss cap that you have in place. The daily loss cap is minus 5%. So again, wherever the capital is, whether it's 50k, whether it's 75, or whether it's 100k capital, you can't lose more than 5%. Which in my case of having 100k, I can't lose more than 5k in one day. And if I'm having a bad day, I need to know when to stop, because that daily loss cap can get hit, and once it's hit, there's no coming back. And the third biggest con of having an Ftmo account is the news. You can't actually trade certain news 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after the news has been released. So for those of you that really like trading your fundamentals, personally I do like trading my fundamentals. There are some news out there that I do watch out for, and I do like to trade those news. However, with the Ftmo account you cannot do that. And the news is actually a very hot topic that a lot of people talk about, and a lot of people ask me these questions. How do I get around trading news with Ftmo? What can I do? There's a lot of questions behind it, and I'll cover that in the later part of this video. So let's get into the equity curve and the trading log, where I will share some of my best trades in this challenge. And here is my equity curve, starting off really well, hitting nearly 2.5% in the first 15 trades. And then after that I took a huge loss, had a really bad trading day, took a huge loss, went all the way down to nearly minus 4.67%. So I was down quite a bit on this verification, and at this point I was starting to lose hope on this Ftmo account. I was like, can I even recover this? I don't think I can actually recover this, because now the daily cap is really tight, the max loss is really tight. I can't over leverage on some trades and try to make it back. However, I did take a little spike up where I was down nearly 2.7%, and right after that I took another dip which took me down nearly 5% in total of this account. And I think these were the two large trades that I took on gold, which ended up hitting stop loss. If these trades did hit TP, however, I would have actually been back into the positives, but this one went all the way down, hit stop loss. I'm back down nearly minus 5%. This is where my daily loss cap was actually getting breached, so I had to actually call it a day, and I did manage to recover that loss. You know, I sort of reminded myself that this verification is 60 days long and there's no need for me to actually rush it, and that's where I started taking things a little bit slower. I started taking smaller lot sizes with smaller risk overall, and eventually made back that loss. And by the 65th trade in, I was actually back up, nearly hitting that 3% mark, only 2% left to go. And around the 80 trades mark, this is where I had a bit of a struggle, because I didn't want to risk dropping all the way back down again. So I was taking some really small lots, just trying to hit that last few hundred, just so I can pass this challenge. Came up to about 4.7%, dropped back down to about 4.3%, and I was just hovering around this area for a while before I got a few good trades in, which took me to 4.9% of the capital. So remember guys, I only need 5% to pass this verification, and about 100 trades into this verification phase I was about 4.979%, so literally $21 left before I pass this challenge. And you know, this is where I was like, can't risk dropping all the way back down, you know. And this is where Ftmo was literally teasing me. I feel like the brokers knew that I was at 4.9% and they just want to try and knock me back down or something. But you know, I lost a few trades, dropped back down to 4.8 before I finally managed to hit that target, getting about $20 over the overall target. Let's head over to my personal trading log, where I would like to share some of the best trades that I had in this challenge. So I started the challenge on the 5th of November 2020 and I managed to complete it 12 days later on the 17th of November 2020, and started off the challenge pretty well. Took a few losses, and these losses are the ones that knocked me all the way down. I think the largest loss I probably had was about $900, which is about 0.9% of my capital. I had a few recovering trades which helped me get back over that 100k mark, and then again took a few losses which knocked me back down, and towards the end over here is where I was just bouncing around that 4.9% barrier. Total trades that I had was 72, although on Ftmo it does say I took about 109 trades. You know, a lot of these trades did hit break even because I was protecting my capital as much as possible, so a lot of these trades were hitting break even. However, the trades that actually played out and, you know, hit either stop loss or TP, or I closed manually in profit, were about 72. Positive pips about 905 positive pips, and negative pips was about minus 718. So I did have that huge drawdown there, but I did manage to recover that drawdown, and overall pips of 187. Total lots used about 168, wins 47, loss 25. Overall success rate was about 65%, so much lower than the last one that we had in the challenge. And here is the first biggest trade that I had in this challenge, which was gold. It was actually a break retest on gold. I took this trade with 3 lots with a 30 pip stop loss. This trade played off really nicely. Literally after 30 minutes of entering this trade, it went on a hit TP, and this gave me a total gain of around 2%. And I believe this was one of the trades which actually helped me go from negative above that 100k mark. The second biggest trade that I had was GBP JPY, which was taken based off these previous highs alongside confluence from GBP USD and USD JPY, and of course DXY itself as well. This trade was taken on a total of 7.5 lots, so I was risking slightly more on this trade. Stop loss was about 20 pips. And the reason for that is because I entered this trade slightly late. So if I had entered in my blue zone, which is my key area, then I would have had a much tighter stop loss. Always calculate your stop loss according to your analysis. Don't ever calculate your stop loss with your entries. 34 pips caught overall, a total profit of 2.4k made on this trade, which is about 2.4% on my Ftmo account, and it took about 3 hours for this trade to play out. And the third biggest trade that I had on this Ftmo account was another gold trade, which was taken on 1888 for a buy as a break retest. So this was shortly after gold had that huge drop all the way down from 1960, I believe, all the way back down to around 1860. So it was about nearly 1,000 pip drop that gold had. Unfortunately, I did not catch the drop, but I did manage to catch a few of the recovery trades on the way back up before gold tumbled all the way back down again. This trade was taken on 2 lots. It had about a 20 pip stop loss, 54 pip TP, and total profit 1k, and the gain on my Ftmo account was about 1.1%. Just before I end this video, I want to go over some of the most common questions that a lot of people ask me about Ftmo, and the number one question is news. How the hell do you trade news with Ftmo without violating their rules? So what is the actual rules about news trades in Ftmo? You can't trade newses 2 minutes before and 2 minutes after the news. If you have a trade running from before and it closes within that news period, let's say because of the news spike, the market hits your stop loss and TP, that means you have violated one of Ftmo's rules, and this can cause you to lose your Ftmo account. And even if it's a funded account, you are at risk of pretty much losing that entire account. Now, how can you get around it? You can either take off the stop loss or TP between that news period, or close the trade well before the news so you do not violate one of their rules. Taking off stop losses and TPs can be very risky because you don't know how big the new spike could be. It could be 20 pips or it could be 200 pips, which can hit your daily loss cap. So you got to be really careful when you are trading newses. My advice would be to completely stay away from them. If you have trades running, if they're in profit, then close them. If they are in loss, then you just got to take that L. And the second biggest question is spreads. How do spreads work on FTMO? How big are they? Are they small? Are they good? If you're intraday trading, the spreads are pretty decent. They're about a pip or less. So the spreads are pretty good throughout the day. However, between 10 PM and 11 PM, where the new day starts, the spreads do get quite big, especially on cross pairs and volatile pairs such as GBP NZD, GBP AUD, Euro NZD, GBP JPY, and so on. So if you are intraday trading or scalping on FTMO, you should be okay. But if you are a swing trader, then you may have some troubles in that hour, which can cause your trades to hit a stop loss. And my biggest advice to those of you that have passed the FTMO challenge is to treat your account 10% of what it actually is. So in my case, I've got a 100k account, so I'm going to treat this account like a 10k account. The reason why I say that is because the max loss that you have is 10k or 10%. So it only makes sense to treat the account as a 10k account. Do not treat it like a 100k account. This means if you are risking 1% of that account, risk 1% of 10k. Do not risk 1% of 100k because you will be risking quite a bit. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe. Follow me on my socials. I'll put it here and down below in my description. Join the Telegram group chat that we have as well, and I'll see you in my next video.